Hi, my name is Gabrielle, and I am going to film a response video in response to your 199 subscribers contest. Not sure where to look. I don't really make videos, so forgive me if it looks like I'm staring off into space. I'm going to try to make this video while my son's asleep. I've tried a few times today, and he likes to come and sit on my lap while I'm filming. He's 2 years old. He'll be 3 soon, but, well, in April. Yeah, I'm trying to do this while he takes a nap. It's Sunday afternoon, and, okay, this seems like a good time. Anyway, this is a response to your 199 subscribers contest, and I'm also going to talk about buying records in New York City. I'm going to make this sort of an introduction to the vinyl community video. If that disqualifies me from the contest because I talk about more than one store that I go to or show more than one thing, I apologize. I'm willing to take that chance. I've been wanting to make a video for a while, and this is a good topic. It feels like an accessible topic to me. I feel like I don't have to be an expert on music uh, to, make a video. So, my name is Gabrielle. People call me Gabe. My son's name is Elijah, and people call him Eli if he happens to come in while I'm making this. Um, let's see, I live in New York and New York City, and people ask me sometimes about buying vinyl in New York. Um, so yeah, I figured I'd talk about the few stores that I do go to regularly, because I think I've ferreted out some good places to shop. So yeah, um, I'll talk about more than one place. I can answer one of your questions right away. Am I loyal to a special place? No, not loyal to one store. Although I do go to a couple places more than others, it's probably more because of location than for any other reason. Not loyal to one special store. And okay, so I live in New York City. I live in the Inwood neighborhood. Inwood is on the tippity top of Manhattan Island. Uh, the neighborhood, the borders are like 190th Street on the south end and 220th Street on the north side. Um, yeah, okay. So, I mean, buying vinyl in New York has changed a lot. I think really in the last couple of decades, but even in the last couple of years, neighborhoods that have traditionally were, great places to buy vinyl and great places to get involved in punk rock and a lot of different social movements actually. Places like the Bowery and the Lower East Side have really been so gentrified that they've been pretty much destroyed as seats of culture. And yes, along with that, they're not great places to buy vinyl anymore. So which is a shame, I think. Uh, the Bowery, is has gone from being, America's most notorious slum to being probably one of the five most expensive zip codes in the country. Um, so anyway, yeah. But in place of that, there are some new stores in Brooklyn. The neighborhoods in Brooklyn, especially that are closest to Manhattan, they're also very gentrified. I mean, in terms of places to live, they're very expensive, but they're, I guess, a little less expensive for retail stores. There are some newer vinyl stores there. I don't want to say still because they're actually newer. While the places on the Lower East Side have closed, there are some newer vinyl stores in Brooklyn. So I'll start there. I go to a couple places in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. Um, let's see. The first I go to is a place called Co-op 87. I got three things there last week. I got Ian Hunter's first album. I've had this in the past. I love Ian Hunter. I have I think, complete Mob the Hoople collection on vinyl. They only had a few albums. And I have a pretty complete Ian Hunter collection. I, um, what was I going to say? I've owned this album in the past. Classic with Once Bitten, Twice Shy on it. I don't know what happened to my old copy of it, though, so it's a new copy. Let's see. I got Tom Paxton's Ramblin' Boy. I like political folk music, and I don't really see that much folk music in the vinyl community. Maybe I could meet some people who do like it. This album has the recognizable song, What Did You Learn in School Today, on it. Um, yeah, anyway. This was like $3. Ian Hunter was like 4. So reasonable store, Co-op 87, and I got the Byrds, Ballad of Easy Rider. This was a couple dollars more, but under $10. And it's not original. I looked it up. The original is on the 2i Columbia label, I think, and this is like the Columbia orangish label with the Columbia written all around it. Yes, but it's old. It's from the 70s. You asked the question, do I, buy online or in stores? I do also buy online. And just quickly, the last couple things I bought online, this might disrupt the flow here a little bit, but I bought, John Cale's first two albums online. I tend to buy things online when I really want them to fill in a spot in my collection, and I can't find them in stores. So neither of these was expensive. I was able to find both pretty reasonably online, and I wanted them for a while. I think I have maybe John Cale's first 10 albums on vinyl now, except for Slow Dazzle and Helen of Troy. And so maybe I'll buy those online too if I can't find them in the store. I also got this George Harrison Brainwashed online. I love the Beatles, and I love George especially. I remember the night he died, 2001, I think. This was released posthumously in 2002. I remember realizing that he was dead because I woke up at 4:30 in the morning. I think it was like in November around Thanksgiving, and they're playing George singing All Things Must Pass on VH1 at 4:30 in the morning. I knew he was dead when I heard it. But anyway, this was not released on vinyl in 2002, I think, when it came out. It was released, it was not released on vinyl in the United States. It was released on CD in the United States. So I got this from a seller in Athens, Greece. That's why I got it online. Again, so that's the kind of thing I tend to buy online. Anyway, back to Brooklyn. Another store I go to in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, Permanent Records. They tend to have new stuff. They do have a couple crates of old used vinyl, but they have more new stuff, whether it's new reissues or new music. So I got Record Store Day. I didn't get it on Record Store Day. I got it after, but I got replacements all stripped down. I love the replacements, and yeah, I bought this at Permanent Records in Greenpoint. Another thing I'm hoping to get out of the vinyl community is to find out about some new music. I go to buy new music or to a store that sells more new stuff, and I walk out with a band that I've been listening to for 20 years. So I'm hoping I can find out about some new stuff that's going on out there. I don't really buy new reissues. Mostly I find most reissues, there are exceptions, but I find most reissues really overpriced. And new music, like new bands, I'm just not that familiar with. So like a place like Permanent Records that has more new stuff, I tend not to be able to find as much stuff in there, because I'm not familiar with it. Okay, but I love the replacements, and I knew I was going to get that before I bought it. So there you go. Let's stick to the outer boroughs and go to the Bronx. There's a store called Harmony Records in the Parkchester neighborhood of the Bronx that I go to. I got these two 12 inches, Depeche Mode from the Violator album there, Personal Jesus and Enjoy the Silence. This guy, Harmony Records in Parkchester, he has a lot of 80s stuff. He also has a lot of Motown, soul, rap. Yeah, the Violator album has a special place in my heart. I'm not a huge Depeche Mode fan. These are the only things I have actually now. But I went to Estonia, which was part of the Soviet Union, in 1990 when I went there. The year, I think, before the Soviet Union collapsed, and the Violator album was hugely popular, and I think I came home with a black market cassette tape Violator. But anyway, Enjoy the Silence was really popular, and they were playing the video. I remember the video being a guy standing on a mountain. They were playing a video. I could be wrong. It's just the way I remember it. I was 13, but they were playing it on what I think was state television 3 times a day or so, at 8 a.m., noon, and 8 p.m. I don't know. So I wanted to get a copy of Enjoy the Silence for a while. It's a special place in my heart, and I'll get Violator. I'll pick it up if I see it. I also got the Temptations anthology, Motown anthology, 3 discs and a booklet. This was released in the mid-70s. I think it says it's the 10th anniversary special, so their 10th anniversary as a band. I got this at Harmony Records. It was $20. I have another. I think I have something else from this anthology series, Diana Ross and the Supremes. I think also 3 LPs. Anyway, Harmony Records, Channel 12 Bronx News just did a special on them a couple weeks ago. It was a store. It's been open since the 50s, and the current owner has owned it since the 1980s. If you're interested, you could probably find that on Channel 12 Bronx News online. Okay, so on to Manhattan, places I shop in Manhattan. I don't tend to shop that much in the Village, Union Square, Lower Manhattan anymore. Like I said, the Lower East Side, a lot of those stores have closed down. There are still some stores left, the Bleecker, NYU, Bleecker Street area near Washington Square Park, and then in Union Square. There's a place like in Union Square I go to, but the prices are just out of control there. I don't even remember the name of it. It's on 12th Street, like across Broadway from the Strand bookstore. Um, the guy has everything, so if I just want to see an album, like see the piece, I will go there and look at it. But an album that should be $20, he wants $80 or $100 for it. So I don't tend to buy the stuff. I just look at it. His dollar bin is a $10 bin anyway. But I did get this in the Village on Carmine Street at a place called House of Oldies, just south of Bleecker, like near the Avenue of the Americas and Bleecker Street intersection. It's called House of Oldies. It's the 12-inch Iggy Pop Candy from Brick by Brick, the album. It's got the song Candy on it and two acoustic demo versions of songs from Brick by Brick. I love the song Candy. Also reminds me of my youth. But yeah, I have a pretty good Iggy collection. I don't have Brick by Brick, but I have a lot of his first few albums. Anyway, on vinyl, and I continue to collect his stuff. On to my last two. I go to two places that are owned by the same people: Westsider Books and Westsider Records. Both on the Upper West Side. Westsider Books is on 81st to Broadway. And to answer your other question, the other thing I tend to buy in record stores besides records is books. So yeah, I do buy books sometimes, especially at Westsider Books. Okay. Anyway, Westsider Books, last couple things I bought. I got this original band Cahoots. This pretty much completes my band collection on vinyl. Okay, I got Neil Young's first album. Not original. I looked this up also. The originals, I think, sent the Tricolored Reprise label, the United States release. This is like the tan Reprise label, but it's old. It's probably from the early 70s. And I got Warren Zevon's Excitable Boy, his second, well, actually, I think it's his third album, but second major label release. Anyway, it's got the song Accidentally Like a Martyr on it, which I really love. It's also got a couple of hits that aren't really my favorite songs on the album, like Lawyers, Guns, and Money. I think some of the other tunes are a lot better. I love his first album with Carmelita and Muhammad's Radio on it, and I love this album too, although I'd never heard it before I bought it, about like last week. I had my eye on it for a while, though, just waiting for a nice copy at a nice price. Okay, and then on to Westsider Records on 72nd and Broadway. Both places, Westsider Books and Records, have really nice staff, decent prices. They're both small, but they both have new stuff every week. Okay, and their staff tend to be knowledgeable too. I got this Woody Guthrie Stinson Records album. It didn't have a cover, although it was definitely released with a cover. To the best of my ability, I've been able to figure out that it probably came out around 1950. It's got songs that I know on it. Most of them I know. Some I have on other albums, like it's got Pretty Boy Floyd on it, which I have on Dust Bowl Ballads. Pretty Boy Floyd, even if you're not a Woody Guthrie fan, you might know the song because Dylan quotes it in his on his first album, and the Byrds cover it on Sweetheart of the Rodeo. But anyway, to the best of my ability, I can figure out that this Stinson Records album came out around 1950. When I picked it up, I said to the guy who works there, Bruce, do you know anything? And he immediately said, oh, Stinson Records. The company was incorporated in 1946 and dissolved in 1962, and he just has an amazing, amazing knowledge of music. He wrote for the Village Voice for a long time, and I think he actually told me that he wrote a couple of rock and roll books about folk music, pop folk heroes. Like I think he said he wrote a book about Mary Travers from Peter, Paul, and Mary. Anyway, he's really knowledgeable, and he helped me figure out this was probably it released around 1950. I also got this other Woody Guthrie, Ballads of Sacco and Vanzetti, in really great condition. Folkways Records, 1960. It has a lyric sheet that also has like a newspaper-like looking format. It's kind of interesting. So yeah, like Jefferson Airplane Volunteers evidently was not the first album to be released with a newspaper insert in it, because this Woody Guthrie 1960 release has that. Although it says here the songs were recorded in the 40s. I think it says 46, 47. I think by the 1960s, Woody Guthrie was very ill. He was not recording music anymore, I don't think. But yeah, this album was released in 1960. Really cool find. And West Side Records, I also got this album, Michael Callan, Purple Heart, 1988. It's a basically male vocalist. I'm not really interested in like male vocalists. I was interested in getting this Michael Callan album because I'm interested in Michael Callan, the person. He died in the earlier mid 1990s from AIDS, and he's as well known. He's a singer. Had forgotten the name of his group. He came to New York, I think, to be a singer. Um, but he's probably better known, to the general public at least, for being an AIDS activist. Michael Callan, the Callan Lord Health Center in Chelsea is named after him, and he's kind of known for being like the inventor of safe sex, if you can invent safe sex. Yeah, he was known for being one of the first in the safe sex movement, sex positive safe sex movement. He's gay too. Probably where that slip of the mouth came from. But yeah. Anyway, those are my recent finds. There might be a couple things I left out, but this is long enough. Yeah. Anyway, hopefully I get to meeting and talking with some people here. I hope so. And I feel lucky at 16 and a half minutes that my son is still asleep. I'm going to say goodbye. And, hopefully I will meet some of you soon, at least virtually, right? Okay.